Hello, guys. Welcome back to My Space Podcast, and I am Maham, your host. Today, I'm here with Professor Karl. Thank you so much for doing this with us, sir.
Thank you.
So, can you tell the audience about yourself?
Oh, myself.
Self-introduction.
I'm a professor from Germany, from THWS in Würzburg. It's a place situated just between Munich and Frankfurt, halfway. So I'm teaching heritage conservation, and I'm quite often and quite happy to travel to India.
So, from our previous conversations, you mentioned you've been to India a lot of times. So, do you experience something different each time you visit India?
I've been traveling to India since I was 21,
Yes.
so quite a long time now. And each and every journey to India was different. The first journey was as a backpacker with a rucksack and experiencing India by train. The second journey, and it was a long journey, was to stay in Ahmedabad, and I had the privilege to work in Sangat in P.V. Doshi's office for only a short time, but it was a very important time in my life. And ever since I come back to India, and I cannot count how many times I've been here, maybe 20, maybe 30. If I calculate in lifetime, I think it's 2 or 3 years that I spent in India since. So I love the country, I love the people, and I love the food. The food is wonderful.
What is your favorite dish?
My favorite dish is masala dosa.
Masala. Oh, wow.
So every first step into India is going. When I reach in northern India, in Delhi, my first step is into Haldiram.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah, I know Haldiram.
Haldiram is always my first stop for my first masala dosa. Then the Indian life becomes
That's the
vital
start.
in my body.
So, like you mentioned, you've worked with B.V. Doshi. He's a very renowned architect, like Indian architect for us. So, how was the experience working with him?
B.V. Doshi was a very charismatic person, uh, enormously. Um, he had an enormous aura. He could capture your senses, and when he was talking, you just couldn't stop listening to him. It was a very sincere person, but an enormous spirit that he had, and this whole spirit was was very vital in the office. So this was very good time for me in my life. Um, and ever since I remember Doshi in a very positive way. I've got many friends from those days in India. My colleagues from those days are still my friends. So that's a good reason to come back to India quite as often as I can.
So, you visited Ahmedabad and you worked with Doshi as well. What is like the one project that you feel was like star-striking for you?
Um, a striking and touching project was the indoor project, where Doshi created the whole city extension. I think it was for 80,000 people.
Yeah.
It was a site and service project. And for me, as a foreigner and coming from Europe, this was a scale that I never experienced. Building a city for 80,000 persons was unimaginable in my perspective. But India taught me something different. Now it's a small place, but
Yeah.
indoor was very was touching me as a project.
So, when you go back to Germany, what are the things that you take from India or from Doshi's teachings that you, because you're professor there as well. So, how do you deal with students, and what teachings of his do you apply in your like teaching?
Ah, openness, yeah. Just you if you talk to young people, if you look at architecture, if you teach, you have to be like a sponge. You have to absorb everything, and you have to give back everything. So this is what fascinates me and what inspires me. And working and teaching, working with and teaching two young persons is a privilege. It's really a privilege.
So it's our privilege also to sit with you and have a conversation. So, sir, you also made a presentation for us where you talked about different difference in architecture and how different architects work. So, like, who is your favorite architect, and like, what made you want to choose architecture?
Well, as most of architects, I'm very impressed by Corbusier's work. Um, his the spaces he created. Um, I have the privilege living in Germany in the midst of Europe. It's easy to explore the Corbusier's work. So last year I was in Nantes visiting the Habitat. On the way back to Germany, I was visiting Ronchamp, not for the first time, maybe for the fourth or fifth time. And each and every time I see these structures, these buildings, I'm really touched. The most touching work from Corbusier I've ever seen was La Tourette, the monastery.
Yeah.
I had a privilege also to stay there for a week, living in Corbusier's building together with the monks was fascinating, very fascinating time. So this is one architecture that fascinates me, but architecture has so many sides, so many aspects. So this
Yeah.
is just one of it, but an important one.
So you always wanted to do architecture, or like it was an interest that developed later in life?
Well, I always wanted to. Always wanted to build,
Okay.
either by hand or by brain, by mind. Uh, but to be honest, I never wanted to be a teacher.
Oh.
This came somehow. It came by luck, by fortune. But this happens. The rest was, well, it's in my mind, it's in my hands that I want to create something. But becoming a teacher, giving my knowledge to students was a unexpected uh, development.
So you talk like you were professor for conservation.
Yeah,
So can you tell me a little about how that works in Germany?
I think it's not so different from what you do here in India. Um, you have to analyze the building, the structure, and what's for me very important, you have to find the aura of a building. A building has an aura,
Yeah.
and the perception and to find out what's in this building is very important. The history, who lived in there, what's the history of the building. That's very important to me. So this is what fascinates me, and I think in India it's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Germany had a very different history. So how do you like see the architecture of that era, like maybe like 100 years ago, and the architecture that's happening today? How do you see both those parallels?
I rather don't go. I rather don't go back 100 years. I want to go back 70 years
Okay.
in the post-war
Hmm.
period in Germany and the post-colonial times in India. And there are so many parallel ways in our architecture, so many parallels. And this is very interesting and very fascinating that um, the liberation of, of, of Germany after World War II, the destruction, is quite similar to the post-colonial time after 47 in India, where India had to find a new way, a new society for the future. And the same happened in Germany. We needed to find a a new way after destruction of war. So there's quite a lot of similar developments. And if you look at architecture, Indian architecture was influenced by some European architects, but also by architects coming back from the United States. And same happened with German architects, because the good and the famous German architects uh, were had to stay in exile. They were not. The Nazis kicked them out of the country, honestly. So they had to live outside, and when they came back with the same aspirations like those coming back to India. So that's quite an interesting story, and I just think that this is a time which needs much more attention. Architecture of the 50s, 60s, 70s in both countries, India and Germany.
So, sir, like you have been through so much in life, you've experienced so many things in life in different countries, different places. So, can you talk about some of your experiences that just like when someone talks to you, those hit you back?
Oh, I love to collaborate with colleagues all over the world. India, I to teach in Thailand. I to teach in Italy. I have very close friends. Um, so, well, it inspires me, and it opens my world. So that's very important. Traveling and um, working as an architect, as a teaching architect, is a very inspiring profession.
So, can you tell me one story that you still remember from your college days when you were a student and not a professor?
Uh, One story concerning India. When I was traveling India as a backpacker for 6 months. From Himalayas to Cape Comorin, I've seen I thought I have seen the country, but while traveling, I realized I've seen nothing. Only maybe 1% of the country, and I wanted to see the real India. So I decided to come back, and I decided not to come back as a backpacker or tourist. I wanted to work in India somehow, in an architect's office, internship, whatever. So um, back home, I found out there's a very important architect in India called Doshi, Didi Doshi in Ahmedabad. I knew Ahmedabad already,
Okay.
so I decided to go to Ahmedabad. But first, I wanted to apply. Formally, I sent a letter to, to Doshi's office. I want to apply for a long-term internship or whatever. Never got a reply. So my tickets were booked. So I decided I go to Ahmedabad and let's see what happens. So I went to Sangat, to Doshi's office, and Doshi wasn't there. So I had to wait. The the guard said, "Please wait outside." So I was sitting in the garden in front of Sangat. There's a small amphitheater. I was waiting there, and then somebody came looking like Bibi Doshi. So I went to see him. I asked him, "Mr. Doshi?" "Ah, yes, yeah, I'm Doshi." And he said, and then, "I'm Karl. I sent you an application letter a couple of weeks ago." I said, "No idea. I never received the letter." So I said, "Okay. Anyway, I want to work in your office." He said, "Mm." He looked at me and said,
Yeah.
"Okay."
Okay.
Then, but one thing, I cannot pay you.
Okay.
But this was okay. The story behind this that when Doshi was a very young architect coming to Paris, worked with Corbusier.
Yeah.
He did the same. He
Oh,
went
wow.
to Corbusier's office and asked for work. And Corbusier told him, "You can work for me, but
No pay.
no pay. So this was
The
a
cycle repeated with you.
it was a revenge, but it was absolutely okay for me. But it was a very, very, very interesting story, very funny.
It is actually so fascinating to think about the people that we aspire to be and to have a chance to talk to them and to talk to people who have worked with them. It's like such, it's so surreal for us as well. So, sir, like, you've had such a beautiful experience, such a beautiful journey of teaching and of being an architect and working. What advice would you give to the young students that aspire to do something in their life and are passionate about architecture?
Well, what advice can I give? I can give you the advice to be open, to be curious, to be passionate. Architecture needs a lot of passion, and you have to be passionate and be respectful. So I think this is and the most important thing. Always be curious. If you're curious, curiosity brings you wherever you have or need to go to. So curios, curiosity is the best, I think, or the most important.
Thank you so much, sir. It was so lovely having this conversation with you. I got to learn so many things, and it is so different to hear about India or Indian architecture from a perspective that is not of an Indian, and to see how the world sees India as like an architectural hub as well in some way.
Yeah,
So thank you so much, sir, for doing this. Thank you so much for taking out time for me. Thank you so much, guys.
you're welcome.
Do follow, subscribe for more conversations like this. See you in the next one.